To start, without spoiling anything, can you kind of tease what's to come in the final episodes of the season?
Yeah, so in the final episode of the season, things are going to get more intense. There's going to be life and death situations for pretty much every character on the show. And, you know, you've gotten to know the characters in a certain way, and then now there's going to be a few surprises as to who they really are and also how they handle things. It's definitely very raw.
Is there any scene in particular that you're really looking forward, especially for fans of the book, for them to see?
Yes, I think, you know, of the first half of the first season, it was mostly the wedding. That's kind of a big, epic, passage in the books. And the second half of the first season, there's, I don't know if I can spoil this, the trial.
Okay.
But, you know, there's going to be a scene which we took a week to shoot it, and there were a lot of extras involved, and it was quite the event, really. And you know, it was a very physical scene for me, and that's definitely a scene I think all the fans are looking forward to. I mean, they know what's going to happen, but it's so thrilling how that comes about.
Is it a challenge at all trying to keep people guessing, even though that they've read the books?
I mean, as you can tell, clearly I'm kind of struggling not to spoil anything, especially from my character, because Geillis is so mysterious, and especially now in the second half of the first season, you're gonna know more about her in a way that you would have never ever expected. But yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about her a lot, because without giving it away, you just kind of have to tune in and see what's going to happen.
Had you read the books before? Or do they encourage you to read the books or stick to the scripts?
They don't really say anything about that. We can just decide if we're going to, you know, read the books or not. I read the first book. I mostly focus on the scripts because that's ultimately what we're working on, and that's our source material. But yeah, the scripts are pretty close to the books, so... and at some point I was reading scripts and the book all at once, and I was like, that's not really working because I'm really confused right now. So I just stuck to the scripts.
Do you let what happens to her or what is revealed about her later on inform your performance earlier on? Because I guess it would kind of make sense to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't even remember how much I knew when I got started. I mean, because the first season is so big, right? It's 16 episodes, and that's, I guess, why we aired it into chunks. But it was such a journey even to shoot it. I flew in and out of Scotland quite a lot, so I don't even remember what I knew when I got started, to be honest. I have done, you know, obviously research online, and the fans have been really informative, actually. Thank you for helping me on knowing more about the character, because they know everything. I didn't know anything when I got started.
Can you talk a little bit about the witch trial scene, and actually specifically about the nudity and the sex on the show in general? Were you aware of exactly what this was when you signed on?
So I knew there was going to be a lot of sex scenes, and you know, I think the way they're done, by the way, it's truly magnificent. It's you know, yeah, they're having sex, but it's very sensual. It's really the best way to do sex scenes, and you know, they're elaborate. We take a lot of time for them. But it's great in the best way. And I knew I had some nudity scenes, so I had to sign waivers and stuff. And I was like, so who am I having sex with then? And they were like, no, you're not. So why would I take my clothes off? So, yeah, but there is definitely a scene in which it's pretty much, yeah, it's kind of not wearing a lot of clothes. And that was actually very freeing for that particular scene, you know? It was just me by myself in the woods at first, not wearing a lot of clothes, and there's a sense of freedom being naked in the forest.
How do you like the costumes on this? Is there any piece of the period piece costume that you would actually want to wear today?
There was one costume. In general, we would name my costumes, so there's the monkey jacket, there's the raven. There's one costume, I don't know if I call it bark at some point, but it's almost like, the texture of it is almost like tree bark. But then it was like a cape with a very nice pointy hat, like adorable, just so cute. And it hasn't been featured yet. It's going to be featured soon. And I would actually I don't know if I'd wear it, especially in LA. It would maybe seem a little misplaced, but it was really cute.
And now to wrap up, you guys got renewed for season 2 very early on, and I'm very excited about that. So is there anything about the second season that you could tease or maybe that you're really excited about?
Ooh, I know about the second season that it's not gonna time travel, but it's gonna travel to a different place, which is awesome. We're not gonna be shooting in France, but you know it's gonna be in France, so that's a whole different world. Where Outlander is very it's interesting because obviously the part in Scotland is so dark and gray and brown and natural and raw, and then obviously Friends, it's going to be very colorful and very sophisticated and very more elegant. So that's a whole new world to step into. So Outlander is so rich.